Oh. Hey guys, Willie and Murfitt here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. In today's episode, I'm going to be stripping down some brakes. But not these ones. I'm going to be stripping down these ones. So let's get into it. Right, so my friend Ryan, who runs a powder coating company called RLP Powder Coaters, contacted me to say that he has some 4-pot mini calipers in and they are in need of stripped down and to be painted. However, he got a bit stuck when only 2 of the 4 pistons actually came out. So he called me up and asked if I could do it. At the same time, I received a message from the owner, who was also a subscriber of the channel. So Paul, if you're watching, how you doing, mate? To see if I was willing to strip these down. So basically, what I've done, or what I'm going to be doing, is the 4 pistons in each of these calipers are pretty much stuck. So I'm going to try with compressed air to start with. If that doesn't work, I'm going to try with a puller. If that doesn't work, I have to hit the drawing board again. I think we're going to get okay. They actually look in okay condition, so let's get stuck into this job and hopefully we'll get these sorted. So I've got this brake setup here. I've dug it out for the reason of this is the Metro Turbo actual brake setup itself. I wasn't really sure how this all went, so what I've done is I've dug it out so I can see exactly where the bleed nipples are. There's 3. There's one on the front, there's one at the top, and there's one in the middle. You've got 2 brake lines going into it, and 2 big bolts holding onto the hub, and then you've got 2 bolts at the bottom and 2 bolts at the top holding the 2 sides together. Now these have obviously been split, so the 2 bolts, the 4 bolts even, the 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, have been removed to obviously make this a separate part, and this a separate part, and all the other piping's been taken away. So if I happen to be rebuilding these, I'll have obviously this as a reference to see exactly what goes where and how it happens. I believe when this gets fitted to a Mini, because it hasn't got the 2 feed lines, I believe there's a loop of a pipe and then there's a banjo that goes through to join the actual intake pipe of the feed for the brake fluid into one cylinder or one bank of cylinders, and obviously the loops across to go to the second bank of cylinders. So yeah, I need to at some point attempt to strip these down because they are absolutely sea solid, and I'm going to use these as a test guide because this brake setup here is what I want to use on my estate when I finally get around to doing it. So less of the talking, let's try and get into fitting these. So I've got one out, and then there's another one out as well, which is from the mated side, but we're struggling to get this one and this one out. So it's the same to the other side. The calipers have been split apart, all the bleed nipples and stuff have been removed as well, so it's going to make life a little bit more difficult, but what I'm hoping I can do is get a bit of compressed air down inside the pipes and force it out a little bit. If not, I can try and work out a way to try and clamp inside the piston and try and get it out. What I'm hoping I can do, if I can't get the compressed air in there, is to put one of my bearing pullers inside, clamp on the inside, and actually just use a slide hammer to force it out. If I can force it out a little bit, I can then get some grips onto it and screw it out. If the pistons do get damaged, we will have to replace them. But this one's come out pretty good. All the inside's pretty clean, so I'm hoping the rest of the inside is pretty clean. So let's get the compressor fired up and see if we can push this out without the use of any tools. do with 2 or 3 more hands, to be honest. Right, that piston's come up pretty easily, so I've just put my bearing puller and it's pulled out the bearing itself, so pretty happy with that. Next up, we're just going to take this off and move on to the next ones. So if you haven't seen this tool before, just show you hopefully. Basically what it works is this bit here is a thread and the end of it has got a point, and as the point gets wound in, show you that, so it goes in the point, and as that gets wound in, it actually forces on the cone these sides out, and as this force out, it obviously clamps the inside of the bore, and then that comes out fine. So that piston itself's come out pretty easily. I'm hoping that this ring was supposed to come out. It would make sense for it to have to come out, but yeah, let's get the inner seal out. And then that's that piston done as well. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to come out. So yeah, it's just got like a retaining ring. So when the piston goes in, you've got a rubber seal on the inside. The piston goes in, then you've got a rubber seal, and then you've got a retaining cup. So that side of the caliper is now stripped. That's actually really, really straightforward. I'll do the other side now. Closer in. The piston, you can see these black marks actually like chips and dents in the sort of corrosion on the piston itself, and there's bits of corrosion on the bottom. So my recommendation here would be to replace these pistons out. And I know there's companies that do stainless steel piston kits, and I think in this occasion where it's a Metro Turbo, they're running a big brake for big power engines, I think it'd be worthwhile doing it. So that's the same side of the piston, you can see the corrosion. Now what it means is that these rubber seals that fit for these pistons will just perish and wear out quickly, and then you get leaky brakes, and you end up with things like this where they're broken and the seal will leak. Okay, so the eagle-eyed viewer among us would notice that at the beginning of this intro, I had these pistons already removed. Now, I did film an intro this morning and it was rubbish, so I wanted to do it again. So the calipers themselves have been stripped down, and actually what I want to do is compare this to the complete unit to see exactly how it goes and how it works. So I'm now confident that once these gets put together, they will match exactly what I have in front of me, and it should be a really amazing finish to these brakes. So I'm going to leave this video here. This box of parts are going to go back to Ryan. They're going to be cleaned. All the paint's going to be stripped off them. They're going to get deep cleaned as well, and they're going to get powder coated. The colour I am not sure as yet. I have spoken to Paul about whether he wants me to rebuild them as well, and I've advised him on this that I personally would fit 8 new pistons. I would fit a new seal kit, and yeah, just get the whole thing overhauled, ready for this to get put back onto the car. So I'm going to leave this video here. As always, if you have enjoyed the content, please click that thumbs up button, comment down below, and if you can, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future content. Just a quick one, nice simple fix today, and then this job can get passed back, and whether we get it back or not is another story. But as far as I'm concerned, at this moment in time, my job here is done. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.